Hello and welcome to this I Teach Stamping video tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about watercoloring, and we're going to talk about different techniques when you're watercoloring. I'm going to use our bouquet bunch out of the current summer mini catalog from Stampin Up. I love this stamp set because it definitely to me screams watercolor. So what I did was on our watercolor paper, I stamped it with our black Stays On ink. This is definitely the ink you're going to want to use anytime you're watercoloring because it really is waterproof, so your color's not going to run at all. So to begin with, I'm going to start with shadowing. Anytime I'm going to do watercoloring, I always want to do the shading and the grounding of it first. So I'm going to use our Sahara Sand ink with our Aqua Painters. I love our Aqua Painters because you don't have to keep dipping into water and dribble water every time you go. The water is held right in the handle of it. So in order to watercolor with our ink pads, what you want to do first is just squeeze the lid. The lid was designed to be flexible so that now you have ink up in the lid to watercolor with. So I'm just going to pick up some color and I'm just going to go around my images. And this way, the shading of it just kind of makes the rest of your color pop. And then when we work on the grounding it's just so that you don't have your watercolor objects floating in midair. So all we're going to do is go in and just kind of create a little bit of that background color. So I'm trying to get the best for you to be able to see that. So then we're going to go in and we're going to clean your Aqua Painter, you just want to go on a paper towel till it runs clear. I'm going to start with the pot, the flower holder. So I'm going to take some soft suede ink and see how I've got it more concentrated on one side and not as much on the other. I want the not as much side right now. And I'm just going to fill in this plant box, this plant holder. And I want it to be a light shade of it. And then you want to let it dry. So after it dries, you're going to have this one right here. Now I'm going to go back in with a little bit darker. And I'm going to color almost all of it. I'm going to color all the way across the top and down the sides. And I'm going to leave this part white. This is just our little highlighting area. So that's how you get that great instant shade. So I'm going to do the same thing for my leaves. I'm going to switch to Old Olive. Now for the Old Olive, I wanted it to be a really bold color at one point, so I just took my re-inker and put a drop of re-inker there. So once again, I'm going to start with the lighter green on my palette there. I'm just going to color in the leaves and let them dry. So I did this side of the plant ahead of time. Now I'm going to go in with that darker green. And I'm just going to go in and highlight. So anytime that you see the veins of the leaves, I would fill those in. And that's where I always start. And then go in and pick a few of the leaves to make darker. Not all of them. Because you want to have that contrast, which is why we let it dry. So then for the rest of the flowers, I would do the same thing for the leaves over here with the Old Olive. And then I went to Rose Red. And I just colored in my flowers. I did the same exact thing here. I did a base coat for the flowers, let it completely dry, and then I went back in with the stronger Rose Red and did some highlighting with it. So when you finish, you're going to have this right here. So you can see where it's got the darker shades of green, the darker shades of red, and then it's got that shadowing and the grounding. So let's build this card. So I'm just going to take this one, I'm going to layer it onto some rose red cardstock. And then I'm going to layer it right onto some Old Olive cardstock. That's going to be the focal point of my card. And then along the side, I wanted to use our new punch from Stampin' Up. This is the ribbon one. So I'm going to use the rose red. And then you can make this, since it's one of the border punches, you can make it as long as you want it or as short as you want it. I love the flexibility that these punches give you. And then you still have a great piece left over for another card. But this is the part I want right here. So I'm going to take this and put some adhesive on the back of it. I'm going to layer this onto some Old Olive. See how that really just pops? The base for my card is going to be white. So I'm going to put this on the card. And then some dimensionals on the back side of here. And because this one, normally I just do dimensionals in the corners, but because this one has such a wide middle, which is what we all dread, right? I'm just going to go ahead and put one in the middle so we don't have a flat middle, which would be the good part, but anyway, don't want any part of it to be flat. Peel all these off, and we are almost done with our card. So I'm going to pop it on top of that ribbon. So just like that. So then you have a beautiful watercolor that has all your shading done, and it makes you look like a real artist, which is why I love watercoloring, because I'm not an artist, but it's 100% okay when you're watercoloring to go outside the lines. So I hope you've enjoyed this video tutorial. A list of the supplies used to make this card can be found on my website right below this video at iteachstamping.com. And remember, I don't just sell rubber stamps, I teach you how to use them. Have a great day.